Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi guys, I'm Jingga Ameira. In this video, I will discuss the meaning, function, and how to learn listening. As we know, listening is very important when learning English. Listening in English is part of three of the important aspects, such as speaking, reading, and also writing. Why should you be offended by listening in the process of learning English? To listen deeply in the process of learning English. In fact, we also measure the ability to speak English from their intelligence when listening. If we have good listening skills, communication using English will also be smoother. People who have the ability to speak English is now a plus in itself. The reason is English is an international language that we always use for various purposes. In learning English, you are not only good at conversing or speaking, because basically, besides writing, there is also listening, where you are required to understand and hear native speakers speak English. This is usually to full material as well as other test scores. To reason, you shall learn listening in the process of learning English, saying that listening is part of English material. Of course, student must learn it properly and correctly. This will also be used as material for school exams, as well as the TOEFL test explains. As previously explains. Therefore, the following will explain the importance of learning listening in the process of learning English. The first reason is, of course, because you have to be able to understand as a whole in learning English. This allows you to understand better and be able to answer questions in listening based exams by listening to native speakers. If you only learn important points, it will not be easy to understand. Sometimes each speaker has their own accent when speaking English, so if you don't learn it properly, it will certainly cause wrong understanding, where the pronunciation of one English word is confused with another, so that it ends up being misunderstood. Second, improving learning in using English. Third, in using English, you should not only be able to speak and write, but by learning listening, it will further refine your learning. Listening is indeed one of the materials. Of course, it should be studied properly and correctly. Therefore, the law is obliged to learn to listen, even though it's called listening. The task is not only to listen, but also to understand every utterance or discussion. It sounds easy, but there are actually a lot of pitfalls when you start learning listening, where pronunciation and grammar are combined into one, so you have to really understand what it means. But don't panic. To learn it, you can diligently watch Western movies without translation, so you can really understand every word spoken in English. Even some people suck when trying this method. Important aspect of learning English: listening, speaking, writing, and reading. The role of English as an international language is increasing. That's why English is a learning material in schools all over the world. Then it experienced very rapid development until now. Basically, there are four important aspects of English that we must always understand. Among others are listening, speaking, writing, and reading. Each individual in understanding the four concept always has a different level of difficulty. For example, difficulties in communicating, lack of vocabulary, and difficulties in understanding grammar. When we decide to learn English as a whole, there will be a lot of material that we can achieve and master. However, for most people, these materials will be easily forgotten in a short time. Obstacles that often occur, such as the understanding of the tenses that we have studied, are quickly lost. It will be easy to forget in a short time. Abstract that often occur, such as the understanding of the tenses that we have studied, are quickly lost. The problem that arises is actually not entirely our fault. However, due to the selection and use of learning methods that are less attractive, or the method we chose is too monotone and boring, so we don't get the real essence of learning English. Therefore, we need the most effective learning method: listening in learning English. In learning English, listening is a very important understanding. Either we get it directly through media such as film or music. Listening function, learning to hear and listening in English, of course, has a number of functions and benefits. Saying and understanding the benefits and function of this mean that we can be even more enthusiastic about learning to master it. The following are some of the function and use of hearing and listening in English. Can train our pronunciation skill better. It will be much easier to do and complete structure exercise. Reason is that when we often hear and listen to English, there will be more and more sentences that we can use. Besides that, it can also increase our vocabulary. It makes it easy for us to tell stories, communicate, and interact with the people around us. The first, make learning goals for yourself the important thing that we must understand together. When learning to listen, first determine the direction and purpose. You try to make learning goals for yourself. Generally, preparation for learning to listen and listening is to use audio or video. However, there are some important things that we also have to prepare. This becomes more important before we learn to listen and listen to English, audio or video, namely direction and purpose. Try to determine the direction of study and what goals you want to achieve. With clear goals and direction, it will be easier for you to determine the choice of material according to your ability and desires. Having a goal will make you more motivated. In addition, with direction such as study, schedule, and clear activities, you will know more about when these goals or learning goals are achieved. That way, our preparation will be even more mature. Learning, listening becomes an easier activity. We will also get the best achievement. Okay, guys, that's all for me. Thanks for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye bye.